Hey there, good evening. Nice to see you. Welcome to the
Yeah,
Bronx Buzz. This is BronxNet's program where we talk to reporters and writers and editors and all different people who are putting stuff out. And in our second segment, we usually do kind of lighter things and things about other kinds of subjects. And in our second segment, we're going to talk to a school group that you are going to want to see and hear. But right now, we're going to go to an old friend, a longtime friend, Professor Alon Ben-Meir. Dr. Ben-Meir is a retired professor of international relations, formerly at NYU's Center for Global Affairs, senior fellow at the World Policy Institute. Nice to see you again, Dr. Ben-Meir.
it's my pleasure. My pleasure.
And he's an expert on Middle East politics and affairs, specializing in peace negotiations between Israel and the Arab states. He's been directly involved with various Track 2 diplomatic negotiations, is a staunch advocate of the Arab Peace Initiative. You wrote a piece that I was like, wait a minute, on the march to destroy Israel as we know it. Explain to me why, number one, what Israel as we know it is, and then why your concerns that Israel being destroyed as we know it, which would be a significant thing for Jews in America, but for the world as we know it as
Well,
well.
exactly that. And when the vision of Israel founders was to create a state for all the Jews, regardless of what sort of their denomination, be that reform, conservative, or otherwise. That is the whole idea of the ingathering of the Jews. What this government is extremely to the extreme to the right. I think they are allowing the religious institutions or the religious parties to have undue influence over the state. So the separation, so to speak, between state and church, in this case, state and synagogue, does not really, it's being blurred day in and day out. So when you alienate the vast majority of the Jews, which really represent more than 2/3% of the global Jewry, are Reform and conservative. And when you alienate that segment, which is the vast majority of the Jews around the world, from what Israel is doing today, to me, that is no longer Israel. No longer is living up to the vision and the dreams of its founders. And if this government continue on its current track, I believe that Israel will further deteriorate to a point where we will no longer live up to these promises. And this is my main concern.
Mhm. Just hearing you talk and knowing that Benjamin Netanyahu was elected once again, um, it, it is it analogous to people who say that Donald Trump's emergence in the United States, obviously he was the president and now he's running again, has also changed the nature of democracy in the United States of America, that many people say it's becoming a place that we no longer recognize, and there's concern if he's reelected that democracy would not be the same as we know it. Is there an analogy here between those two emergence of those two officials?
There's definitely an analogy, but I have to also understand that the movement toward the right is not only limited to Israel and the United States. We are seeing this all over, including two countries within the EU, Hungary and Poland, for that matter. So this tendency for dictatorial regimes or authoritarian regime, it is not no longer to Israel and to the United States. It is spreading all over, and there is democracy on the whole. It's under threat just about everywhere, and that is really the most worrying thing that is happening now. What is worse in Israel? You would not think that a Jewish state, the only Jewish state, that becomes an occupying power, and it is led by criminals. Here you have a prime minister who is indicted on 3 different crimes, and now he wants to change the judiciary so that he will not stand trial and will not be punished for what he has done. So can you imagine? I mean, maybe in the United States we can tolerate, or we can possibly move beyond Trump sooner or later. After all, this is a 250-year-old democracy, and I think we have the institutions built in so that we can overcome even the phenomena of a Trump. But Israel would not, with no constitution, to allow this type of the government to come to power and begin to dismantle the principal elements of democracy in Israel itself. That is the dream of the Jewish people after 2,000 years. To me, it is totally and completely unacceptable.
I'm going to disagree slightly because there's a lot of, I mean, certainly look at what Republicans are trying to do to investigate the FBI. And certainly Donald Trump is, and I don't mean to keep coming back to this, but it resonates to me that this is what's going on now is, this whole challenge to the judicial system, obviously the attack on the Capitol and all that. We don't want to get too deep into that, but it's hard for me not to respond that way that we see it.
Well, no, but I mean, you're right in the sense, because what we are witnessing today, the way the Republicans are behaving is shameful to say the least. But what I'm saying is we have much stronger institutions here that will be able to withstand this kind of disruption in our political system.
But you're saying that in Israel they don't have that kind of infrastructure.
We don't have that safeguard because the democracy in Israel it's only 70 plus years old. Moreover, in Israel, at every election, you have 20, 25 parties running. So Israel is not a cohesive society. Israel is polarized, and now it is more polarized than ever before.
You try to put a barometer on it from a distance from here, and my sense was there was a point in recent history where we were getting closer to some normalized relations between Arabs and Jews in Israel, and now my sense is clearly that lines are being more definitively drawn so that they are not getting closer. How will the effect of all of this political movement affect the Arab-Israel normalization? Are we now further away, as I suspect, from what I sense?
I think it's further away in a sense. The Abraham Accord was a great beginning for other countries to normalize relations with Israel, namely Bahrain, United Arab Emirates, Morocco,
Right.
and the Sudan. There was a big hope that Saudi Arabia will come along. But as long as there is no agreement, no peace agreement between Israel and the Palestinians, in my view, under no circumstances, that further normalization between Israel and the Arab countries will continue. It is going to stop. Mm-hmm. Now, when you watch the day in and day out violence between the two sides, when you see Palestinians basically killed every single day, when you see revenge and retribution are taking place by the Palestinians. Today, this atmosphere is boiling, and this got to, first of all, has to calm it down. But more than that, the Palestinians need to see to have a hope that somewhere along the line they will be allowed to establish a state of their own. I maintain very strongly that unless eventually there is a Palestinian state, the conflict between Israel and the Palestinians will not come to an end, and the price that both sides will be paid will be extraordinarily high.
This week, Israel launched allegedly, I mean, I don't know that Israel has admitted to it, but both the U.S. and others have said it's true, launched a drone attack on an Iranian military facility. Number one, do you think that in fact Israel did it? And number two, if so, what were they after? And then, of course, number three, how does this fit into this whole idea of trying to create peace in the world as opposed to more?
Well, I mean, Israel, not just Netanyahu, every Israeli government has been concerned about Iran's nuclear program. There's no question.
I believe that's when you and I talked last on Bronx Talk. It was about those very issues.
Yeah, for good reason. But Israel has been, for years now, trying to degrade or slow, I should say, the Iranian progress as far as the nuclear development is concerned. And so they've been killing scientists. They have landed and stole and took boxes and boxes of sensitive information about the Iranian nuclear program. And I'm not surprised in the least that Israel will be undertaking this kind of attack in order to slow to slow the progress. Israel, however, cannot stop Iran to acquire a nuclear weapon if Iran is so determined to achieve that. Hence, I think it was a terrible mistake.
A mistake.
On the part of Trump to withdraw from the Iran deal.
Yes, of course.
Today, Iran is much better, has more purified uranium, 60%, which they can convert into 90% purity, which is good for a nuclear weapon. So today, Iran is a much better position than it was before. Than before Trump withdrew from the deal. And so Netanyahu and Trump made a terrible, I think, horrific mistake. And so we're going to have to see now what's going to happen. The prognosis is not good for the future.
What might reverse the trend that it's horrific to think about any democratic state, even, Ukraine or any democratic state, to lose its independence would be devastating. What would reverse the trend? Is there anything out there?
Where?
Well, the trend that you say that on the march to destroy Israel as we know, is there a march to go in the other direction?
I feel very strongly that there's going to have to be a new government that adhere and respect the law of the land. That is, Israel should not be tampering with the judicial system. That is what keeps democracy alive. There's got to be accountability. If just imagine this: the Supreme Court make a decision about anything, and then by a majority of one in the parliament, they can overturn the decision of the Israeli Supreme Court. You are basically put a dagger in the heart of Israel democracy. That should not be allowed.
Wow. Professor Alon Ben-Meir, thank you so much for helping us clarify what you meant. And we certainly hope in the name of peace that that there's enough democratic minds in Israel to, quote unquote, and I don't mean this literally, to fight back and reverse the trend that you're very concerned about.
For Israel's sake, yes.
I think for all of our sake, just like we can't lose a democracy in Ukraine, we can't lose a democracy in Israel. It's an ongoing struggle. Dr. Ben-Meir, let's have you back at some time soon, hopefully with better news.
Hope so. Thank
you so much. Folks, we'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll change gears totally, and we're going to talk about a wonderful music program in a school that will make you real happy. They're going to be at Carnegie Hall. We'll be right back.
Hey, boss. Okay?
I said I'm fine.
See you in the morning with the frosted Superman, but it wasn't on it, and we lost it.
You can talk to me.
It's been really, really hard for me.
Dear moms and dads, what you have achieved here today is going to help us and our futures. It is why we are coming up on stage to collect your diplomas.
You know it's true.
Mom, we love you always.
Everything I do.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
All right, back with you on the Bronx Buzz. I hope you're ready to change gears and change tunes, if you will. We're going to go to St. Barnabas High School. It's a girls' school, and they are just doing amazing work in the world of music. Let us say hello to two teachers. Neither of them a music teacher. We're going to start there. Sharon Traditi, nice to see you, Sharon.
Hello, how are you?
We're doing great, especially with you guys around. And Dionne Robinson. Dionne, nice to see you.
Same here.
Thank you so much. So let's see. Sharon teaches religion and Dionne teaches science, yet we're doing a music segment. So Sharon, let's just talk about the after-school program that works with the young girls doing music.
Right. Well, Dionne and I co-direct our choir, and it's all after-school volunteer. We have about 15 girls that come out. We rehearse on Tuesdays, and currently, right now, we're going down to sing at Carnegie Hall in February.
Well, you just broke the
It's
news, huh?
a
There you go.
program called Voices in the Hall, and it's a journey of faith, hope, and unity. And the girls are very excited about
Yeah,
this. It
I'm
started,
excited.
yeah, I am too. It started with one of our girls seeing a flyer on my desk this past summer, and she says, "Oh, this is exciting. Wouldn't it be great for us to be on the stage at Carnegie Hall?"
And God bless the teachers for listening to the kids. If you
And
listen to
it's
the
like,
kids, you can get somewhere.
do I really want to? And I was already going to do the program.
Oh, okay, fair
And
enough.
then I started thinking, well, if this child is that excited about it, I need to do something.
Dionne, let's ask you a little bit about the program itself and the girls. Why do you think they're good enough to play? I mean, I know how do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice, practice. But why is this a good group and going to be a fun group to bring to
Mostly fun.
Carnegie Hall?
We've been doing the choir for I've been here for 23 happy years, actually. And I started doing the choir, I would say like 2000.
Mm-hmm.
So it started off as just a school choir, gospel choir, because I've been in gospel choirs all my life. I'm not going to say my age, but over 40 something years, I've been singing with a gospel choir. So I started the group here. Mr. Traditi came along. What year did you start?
2008.
2008. And then we just combined everything together. So we used to just do on a smaller level the masses for school. And then at times we would go to like local churches and go to their youth choirs. And then more and more as we were going out, more people heard of us. And then we did Pueri
Cantores.
Right.
And
diocesan.
Dionne, let's just talk about the girls and what they get out of it. They do this, I'm guessing, enthusiastically. This is all. I don't want to cut down the education, but it is the best part of their day, I'm sure, and I'm sure they love it.
Correct. It's not even it's not one of those things where you have to do it service hours. They volunteer and come and do it. Just like what you said, just out of they like to sing, they actually know how to sing, and this is just fun for them.
Sharon, let's just talk a little bit about their singing abilities. Do you have to teach a lot of singing? Are these people, young girls who come in and they're like, I like to, they already know how to sing, or, well, some are not really on key. We've got to teach them how to do it. You give me the level that they come in and what your task is.
They come from all different levels. A lot of them are very shy, and it's like, oh, I can't sing, no, I'm too shy. I can't do that. And usually the ones that say they can't are some of the best. And
because let me just interject, because they know they can, they just needed somebody to tell them you can and give them the forum to
they need that mentoring. I never really had that in school. I was in my early to mid 20s when finally I had someone say to me, you can do this. And Kathy Lewis, my choir director at St. Patrick's, just introduced me to various different avenues. And I was older, so why can't I now do this to these young girls who are younger and give them that experience? That's what it's all about. It's the experience, and it's the love of it, and the confidence that they can do it.
And let me just
Dionne working together with them is
we're almost out of time because we're going to bring a couple of girls in and we're going to talk. In addition to this, there are girls who are going to play piano at Carnegie Hall.
Yes,
correct.
And that because they're going to play like a four-handed thing, two girls sitting together. Do you work with those two, or do you only work with the choral?
Well, we listen to what they're doing and kind of mentor them a little bit, but they're really classically
They're really talented.
They're classically trained,
And it's actually Gabby was one of the piano players, was the one that saw the information on my desk, and she's kind of like the cause of us doing this.
There you go. I'm going to give you each 30 seconds. We'll start with you, Dionne. Do you have one student in mind that really transformed herself because she was in the chorus?
A student named Mia Hernandez. Very shy, very timid, and her voice is amazing. And we just had her sing a solo one year.
I'm applauding back here. Okay. And now, Sharon, what about for you?
I think Mia also,
really?
just to see her grow and flourish and, just take off, and even Jhanille, who's going to be one of our next people up, and Nora. Nora was one says, no, I can't do that. And again, she's one of our great singers.
All right, let's get out of the way, Teach. We're gonna bring the girls in. We're gonna take a short break and we'll be right back.
You're not gonna get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
All right, so we are at St. Barnabas High School, and we're going to meet the singers. This is, frankly, I love meeting the teachers, but this is what it's about. Jhanille Barnett, nice to see you, Jhanille. Good evening, nice to have you. And Nora Kelly, nice to have you with us.
Nice to see you.
Jhanille, when did you start singing?
I started singing at like grade 3.
Grade 3. You did that formally, like in school, or you just like kind of sang along with Madonna on the record?
No, I did formally. I've been in choir for like 8 years. So.
And did you know you could sing, or it's just because you love it? It doesn't matter. Like if I sing, everybody will leave the room, but I like to sing.
I knew I could sing. Like.
All right, yeah. Great. And what aside from the chorus, what kind of music do you like to sing? Or like what inspires you?
I like classical music. Like I love all genres of music.
Wow, very nice. You're much more open-minded than I am, I could tell you that. And Nora, what about you? When did you start singing?
I actually only started singing this past year, so at the beginning.
Really?
Actually, Mrs. Traditi, she was the one who introduced me to choir, and I wasn't so much interested in the beginning, but I thought, why not give it a shot? And now, I have the privilege of going to Carnegie Hall. So, never has to stick your neck out there and try something new.
I love the idea that you called it a privilege. I think that because really, to play Carnegie Hall, where do you go from here? And so I want to ask you something, Nora, because it's very interesting to me that you hadn't, unlike Jhanille, you haven't sung since you were much younger. Is part of it the social situation that it's nice to be part of a group, and then you hear everybody around you, and and then that motivates you? That's a guess on my part. Is that part of this that which is a value to this too?
No, it definitely is the social aspect, especially being part of a choir. When you've never sung before, you may think, oh, my voice isn't strong enough. I couldn't, handle it solo. So to be in a group setting where you have other people carrying you while you're singing, even in times where you're nervous or the notes are kind of precarious, you have that, that leverage around you. And it is a great deal of support, which, matters a lot, especially when you're going to sing out in public.
Yes. And when you're a young person trying to grow up, it's nice to have that. Let's just talk about that, the whole notion of you, Nora, and we'll ask Jhanille the same question. Do you feel like you're a different person now that you sing in front of people, whereas in the past, I'm guessing maybe you weren't a little more shy, weren't as open? It's just a guess, but do you feel like you've changed as a person as a result of doing?
No, definitely. I feel that I've changed over this past semester while singing. It really, even if you've never sung before, once you start singing in a choir, it really helps you build your confidence, especially when you're on stage, especially when you're in front of people who you've never met before. You could feel like that you could face judgment or, it's a lot of pressure while singing, but I definitely feel for the better that I've changed while I've done.
Oh, there you go. So, and also, when you have to go in speech class now, stand in front of a class, you'll be able to do it. And what about you, Jhanille?
I've definitely changed a lot. I'm more open to different opportunities. Choir has really transformed me into a wonderful person. Like I
Oh,
can
isn't that
speak
great?
in public more.
Oh goodness, we need music programs in all our schools. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just, we got to do that. All right, now I'm going to ask you each something that you're going to hate me for. Jhanille, what do you want to sing for us? What do you think? I'm not going to ask you to sing? You think it's all going to be rumor? Do you want to sing together, just a couple of bars of something, or you want to sing something
Sing
individual?
together.
Okay, what are you going to sing? Don't take too much time because it's all the time is ticking. Go ahead. You know I'm going to ask you to sing. Just go for it.
Right.
Okay. Do you want me to count? 1, 2, 3, 4.
I will lift up my voice unto the Lord, for he is good. I will lift up my voice unto the Lord, for he is good. I will lift up my hands unto the Lord, for he is good.
And that's just a small.
There we go. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, at Carnegie Hall, they're going to be going crazy. Listen, I just think it's great. And you made friends with the other girls in the chorus. I guess you're friends. See, this is that's why we got to do these things, During the pandemic, I've said this a number of times when we've talked to students, must have been very difficult. You were doing things right, virtually and all that kind of like this. And so let's see, when is the big date that you'll be going out there?
February 19th.
I probably have it on here somewhere. Yes, Sunday, February 19th.
Yes.
And one thing I can tell you, I have been in Carnegie Hall. I've never performed at Carnegie Hall. The acoustics are amazing. So I was once in the audience and somebody was practically whispering on the stage and I was in the balcony and you could hear it perfectly. You're going to just, I'm so proud of you. That's all.
And there's also the opportunity, if anyone's interested in going to Carnegie Hall that weekend. So the night is February 19th. And if you are interested in singing, there is a discount code. So the funds that the funds will be received. So it's just discount code STB 39878. STB 39878. It would be a wonderful experience.
And then you can get a little break on the tickets, but then you'll be supporting our kids. I mean, period. That's what we want. Voices in the hall, and they literally were voices in the hall this afternoon. And listen, good luck. Thank you so much, Nora Kelly and Jhanille Barnett. We really appreciate everything you do. And listen, the next thing you know, we'll be headlining Madison Square Garden.
All right, thank you. It was nice speaking to you.
Okay. Folks, that'll do it for the Bronx Buzz. What a joy to have these young people who are doing great things in the Bronx, as always. And we'll see you next week. Good night.